Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another round of the Blitz World Series.
Marko in yellow in the top right, Andy red in the bottom left. Yeah, it should be a good match here. Andy's definitely had more experience lately on the Blitz format, but Marko's gotten a few reps in and is one of the best players in the world, so it should be an interesting matchup. Quick reminder, Andy is from America, which is why he has an American flag. Marko's not actually a pirate. Marko is from Finland, as I've been told now 70 different times, but Zed told me he was from Denmark. So I had a Denmark flag, so instead of putting the wrong flag, he now has a pirate flag. So anyway, that's where we're at. Okay, both players out now with some early infantry. Andy pushing in with some GIs. Marko countering with conscripts. Okay, and it looks like Marko's going to make a push here now on the... Marko takes the Alamo. Big move from Marko. And Andy stretching out, has his GIs in position. Yeah, Sean, close that prediction. Sean, thanks for putting the predictions up. Appreciate it. Lock me. Come on, it's not ads, man. It's a sick intro, bro, to get you hyped up. To get you hyped up for this Marko versus Andy Blitz action, man. All right, so now Andy out with those early eagles, and Marko sees it coming, gets that flat cannon, and that's certainly going to be part of the reoccurring strategy for Marko. Keep the flat cannons out, keep the power up, because Andy's going to be trying to get a lot of mileage out of the Eagles and the Rockies. It is players are picking their own factions, so I think we will be seeing mostly Soviet versus Allied. And he pushes in, takes out those GIs, but lets that tower do a little too much work. Another tower behind. Pushing in, and you see Andy targeting the tanks with that tower. The tower, doesn't get those conscripts shooting very fast, but now pushing in. Andy in a tight spot now, gonna lose the AFC. The Eagles going down. Sometimes I feel like the Eagles sometimes go down when you lose an AFC, sometimes they don't. And now Andy without much left. Oh, Andy builds another AFC and lets them land. Sometimes they crash, but now Andy in a tight spot. A lot of rhinos, but Andy needs to get some hits with these Eagles fast. Needs to keep the Eagles going, needs to target some of those, gets his infantry up to defend that AFC. The AFC right now is the juicer for Andy. That is the building that needs to defend himself. But Marko says no problem, goes out to the backside, starts attacking the economy. And Marko now forced out for the time being. Not enough tanks to push through that infantry, but certainly gets a lot of damage done and puts Andy behind. Andy's still on 4 oils though, and Andy's sitting on 6K. Both players with a lot of money, and Marko... it's hard to say. That was a really nice hold from Andy, and it's going to be hard to say, for Marko how long he wants to let this go. You got to imagine he wants to get back in there and keep doing damage. Zed, I'm pretty sure you said Denmark, man. I don't know. So now Andy out with a sniper to defend the Desos. Good counter. It's difficult to work the Desos get pretty heavily nerfed with those snipers. Flat cannon on the top side. Andy has a paradrop on the top side, doesn't get much done. Andy out now with that prism walk. The prism walk is going to be absolutely devastating. Once the prism walk gets running full speed, you have a lot of issues. As a Soviet player, for Marko, I don't think he needs to hang out in these prism towers. I'd like to see him backdoor. He's attacking from the spot that Andy wants him to attack, but as I say that, he goes pushed in. Andy does take the MCV with the Eagles on the top right, but now Marko with keys to the kingdom behind enemy lines has his way with things. What does he do? Trying to target the power, trying to get those prism towers to go low power. Wow, the prism towers. Okay, so prism towers are now low power. Andy nothing left but 8 Eagles. Andy would need an absolute miracle right now. Andy's still picking things off with the Eagles, but not going to be enough. Not going to be enough.
Player defeated.
All right, Marko picks up the first win. Man, I was so excited about having those flags for both players. So professional. You know, RE2 Cash Games, professional. That's what I want people to say. I want people to say, have you seen that RE2 Cash Games guy? He's very professional. And then Zed screwed me big time. That's how it goes, though. Can't trust people like Zed. Rule number 1. Just kidding, Zed. All right. Again, we have Soviet versus Allied. Marko, yellow top left. Andy, red bottom right. Let's see what both players are looking to do here. So Andy's been playing a lot of the Kong map lately. And on the Kong map, the Allied player can defend himself a little bit easier from the Rhinos. The Alamo map, you're left a lot more exposed, and you have to play it a lot differently. We've seen Allied players struggle a lot more on the Alamo map. So it'll be interesting to see, you know, Andy's the kind of player who's going to take that information and digest it. If he loses a couple, he's going to adjust, and it'll be interesting to see what he brings here, because we haven't really seen a really good strategy from Allied on the Alamo map. So hard to say for sure what the move is for Andy, but Marko, you know, pushing the topic, not letting Andy develop is certainly his strategy. As the technology increases for the player, when the Prism tanks come out, that's usually GG's for the Soviet player. So I think definitely Marko's strategy should be to keep the pedal to the metal, keep the pressure on, keep the game short. Out now with a lot of conscripts. Those are a great counter to the Prism towers. They work really well as fodder. Andy with a little split now. GI's going top side, GI's coming bottom side, making good use of that paradrop. Zed, I don't want to see your edited messages, okay? I'm trying to focus on this game. Liar, Zed. All right, and Andy now pushing a GI push on both sides. Gets a nice chain reaction. Nice chain reaction on the bottom. Now with a Prism walk. And Marko in a very tight spot now. Yeah, Marko's going to need an answer to the Prism walk. He is. He's going to need an early answer to the Prism walk. Now Marko's out of War Factory. Should have another coming. Oh, he's building an oil derrick. And Marko's not going to have much left to give here. These games, though, you know, when you are the loser, you don't want to lose fast. You do want to hang in just a little bit so you have time to collect. You know, if you are getting a little bit flustered, you don't want to carry that over into the next point. Of course, players like Marko and Andy aren't really known to tilt anyway, but... all right, and that brings us to 1-1. One, ladies and gentlemen. Monster in the house. All right, Marko in the top right and the bottom left. I think we will see this Soviet Allied matchup for the rest of the day. Obviously, that's the players' preferred factions. All right, so we've seen Andy not be able to resist the early pressure, and we've seen Marko not be able to resist the early Prism walk. And I don't know what the answer is for the Prism Tower walk for the Soviet player, other than end the game fast. You know, get your Rhinos out early and try to make something happen. It's interesting. Marko always out with a little group of conscripts. Both players always out with some groups of infantry, which isn't something we usually see on these maps. Kind of interesting. Because, you know, when you see two of the top players in the world doing something, you got to wonder if it's the right way to do it. Now a lot of GIs, and he has the waypoint, so Andy finally cuts the line off, but that's a lot of GIs. Going to take that hill. So now Marko out with some Rhinos. And so you see Marko not stretching his base. Marko doesn't want to engage too early. I don't think going up this hill into these GIs is the move. Ooh, Andy spreads out the GIs, makes it harder to run them over. That was not what Marko needed. I don't even know why. Like, why not let the GIs have the hill? I mean, the map is called the Alamo map. It's tempting to think the Alamo matters, but the Alamo doesn't really matter. And now the AFC out, so we're going to see a Prism Tower in just a second. And Marko's got to do something fast, because the Prism Tower is coming any second now. GIs, getting a lot of mileage out of those GIs from Andy, but now pushed in, nothing left for Andy. Andy does have the AFC, so a Prism Tower is going to be coming in just a second. Marko needs to hit that AFC, hit the AFC, and if he has a Prism Tower building, he'll lose it. Oh, and there's the Prism Tower, big hit. Does hit the Sentry Gun, so that's going to be the last Prism Tower for a moment. Andy's going to have to try to build his next AFC back somewhere safer. Marko's going to be able to hold out here, but again, needs to make something happen. Now Andy out with Rocketeers, Marko with no anti-air defense. See how quick Marko is able to respond. Is he going to go flat cannon or flat track? Flat track out now for Marko, chases off the Rocketeers. And I just don't know what Marko can do here. Marko needs to apply a little bit of more early pressure. You can't let the allied player fully establish the Prism Tower walk. It's just devastating. Another Prism Tower, going to get a lot of damage done there. Beautiful range, beautiful damage. I'm a big Prism Tower fan because they are OP. Doing some work now. But Andy, again, putting his AFC in a very dangerous spot. And so a nice sentry from Marko, not repairing it, though. And that's difficult. The sentry gun battles in Blitz, a lot of players aren't used to them. You have to constantly be repairing. It's a very hands-on activity. But the micro with your sentry guns can really make the difference. And I'd like to see Marko target the AFC. Andy is giving him a gift by putting that AFC there. You know, when he hits the AFC, he loses his ability to build prism tanks. But we're not seeing it. And now Andy with some nice snipers in that group. Marko trying to pull back a little bit. Marko could backdoor the MCV right now. Andy with nothing to defend himself. And Marko, oh, and as I say that, Andy built the Prism Tower back there. Both players thinking it at the exact same time. Oh, and a Navy SEAL in the IFV hits the MCV, hits the War Factory. Ooh. Ooh. And that's going to be GG's for Marko, I think. Andy ulting the War Factory. Marko's got a decent amount of tanks, but Andy's just got so many Prism Towers. Marko from this cliff could maybe hit the Oil Derricks, but Marko's got no air defense, driving right into the heart of Andy's defensive line. Gonna be difficult. Another Prism Tower coming. Eagles now for Andy. Marko's got nothing but conscripts and a prayer. And Marko hanging in there, but I don't think he's got much left to give. He's got conscripts way pointed into the Prism Tower. Yeah, the bunkers. Yeah, we're not seeing any bunkers from Marko. To be fair, at Marko's defense, Marko hasn't really. This is a game mod and a weird map. Marko has. Wait, has Marko played a Blitz show match? I actually don't think Marko's even played. I think Marko's only played Snark in some FFGs, actually. Yeah, some bunkers from Marko could be nice for sure. Marko's got to be scheming a little bit. He needs something. Losing's, you know, losing to a good strategy. There's no shame in that. You don't want to lose to the same thing over and over. And now we've seen the Prism Tower, the Prism base walk, devastate the last 2 points, and it's time for Marko to use that top player in the world brain of his and come up with a counter punch. But it's difficult, you know. Everything's moving so much faster than a regular game. Your reaction time to adjust, react, counter punch, it's a lot faster in Blitz. So now Andy has won the last 2 points in a row with Prism Walks being the main player. And so let's see what Marko brings here. So now we see the early conscripts from Marko and no early GIs from Andy this point. And Andy's one of those kind of players too. And at the top level, you know, at the bottom level, and in many sports it's like this. You play your game, and you play the game you play best no matter what you're doing. At a top level though, you know, doing what the other player anticipates is a weakness for you. So you have to constantly be kind of diversifying, switching things up, giving people different looks. And Andy is really known for that. Andy's one of those kind of players. So you'll see now Andy, we don't have any GIs. Early AFC, he doesn't have a War Factory out. He's building preemptive pillboxes at this point. So it's very, very interesting. Monster with the biddies. Just what we need, a monster. And so now Andy looking like, we've seen this from Andy trying to play more of an air game, but that flat cannon just going to do work. But Andy is able to save it. So he's got his snipers out. So and he is going to push early rhinos, Oh, he's going to get a sniper and seal and an IFV now, going topside. And Marko pushing in, drives right past. Unfortunately, we have a seal on the top left. He does get a sentry gun out. So Marko sees it coming, gets a sentry gun. Does lose the War Factory. Okay, loses one War Factory. That was Marko's only War Factory, so it slows it down. It did slow down Marko's defense. Andy doesn't have that much to defend himself now. Marko needs to push and make something happen. He needs to do something about get away from the Prism Tower. Just get away from the Prism Tower. You don't even have to fight the Prism Tower. Does force Marko to pull back there. And Marko needed a little bit more mileage out of that attack. I feel like Marko is kind of taking Andy's defenses head on. Like, Marko's attacking from the spot that Andy wants him to attack from. And again, I'm not a top-level player. I don't know. But I just feel like he's really hanging out in the zone of the Prism Tower. You know, why not, at the very least, make him build Prism Towers everywhere? Drain his power, drain his money. When you always attack from the same spot, it makes it easier for the other player to defend, is my theory. But who knows? War Factory's now on the front lines. And Marko and another Navy SEAL coming topside now from Andy. And now Marko's split between two fronts. He has to watch the Navy SEAL on the top side while Andy pushes on the bottom side. Gonna see another Prism Tower come in here in a second. And Andy and Marko building towards the Prism Towers, I don't think that's the move. Yeah, the base walk from Marko doesn't really seem like the move. I guess getting the rhinos right on the front line. Oh, does chain react that Prism tank. Now, but now backdoors the Navy SEAL. Oh, and chain reacts. So the oil derricks are a good target for the Navy SEALs because you can't sell them. So they're very vulnerable to Navy SEALs. So Marko has got to be looking to make something happen here. Once you kick, Marko gets these moves in, he slows them down a little bit, but then he doesn't make anything happen. Now Marko taking the Alamo. Now Marko goes topside. Well, to be fair, it's a game that I've watched 10,000 times and Marko's played 3 times. So hopefully I can have some good strategies, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously, I'm not one to question Marko, but I do know that he's in a very bad spot right now. Now Andy just going to continue the... Marko on 15k, and Andy's going to get that spy in. Oh, Marko sees it. So now it's like, I mean, Marko's got to go, right? Because... I mean, he's in trouble. And now we got Mirages, Prism tanks coming. Yeah, still no bunkers from Marko. Marko trying to get a radar up, try to get a Deso to counter, but now on 1 War Factory. Yeah, and Andy's just going to slowly pick him apart. Finally, we see Marko heading up to that exposed top side. Andy's able to react pretty quickly, though. Now he's got those Mirages. He's got a very good mobile defense. And Andy can kind of just sit back now with his Eagles and pick Marko off. Paradrop top side. Andy now chronoing the Alamo. Marko's gonna have to get a ton of work done with these Desos. There's just so many Prism Towers. Marko's got to bring something. I mean, we got to see a Kirov or, like, I don't know. Marko needs something crazy. Eagle's going top right side, going to go off the map, going to hit the MCV. See if Marko tries to move the MCV here. Hits the nuke instead. Marko builds another battle lab. But these Prism Towers just in his base right now. Now we see the Kirov out from Marko. If Andy makes a slip, these Desos could get a lot done. And that's kind of his only hope. Marko needs an absolute home run with these Desos. Not going to be enough. Does slow him down, though. We got an AFK Kirov. Iron Curtain out now for... yeah, so the Iron Curtain, I think, is really big for Soviet. In Blitz, as soon as the allied player gets turtled up behind their Prism Towers, you got to get an Iron Curtain, and then you got to dive. You got to dive. You got to try to chain react their oils, dive for their MCV. I think the IC. I think getting tech out a little earlier. I mean, if you're not gonna commit to the early rush, then I think you should be looking tech a little bit earlier. There goes the IC. Yeah, Andy's Air Force is just so strong at this point. That Kirov doing some work, pushing him back a little bit, though. That's nice. Marko is desoing his own units a little bit. Yeah. But like I said, this is good for Marko. These long games are important. You don't want to give Andy quick wins. Like, even if Marko doesn't win this by delaying this game, quick wins, you know, both shift morale and momentum mentally, but it also kind of gives you more time. You know, Marko, as the less experienced player on the format, it gives him more time to kind of get a feel for things, get a little more comfortable with the format. So I like these long games from him. No reason to GG out early. Got to make Andy work for it. Give yourself more time to acclimate. Monster saying Marko can come back and win this. Steve, you want to lose some more money? I'll bet you any amount of money that you want that Andy is going to win this. Yeah, there we go. And now Marko in back tries to throw some rhinos downfield. Yeah, Steven. My money. Where that money at, Steve? Yeah, well, it's funny. I mean, so Monster saying Allied OP. We've seen the Alamo map played before. On this map, Allied has not proven to be OP at all. But experience on Blitz is very, very OP, and Andy has a lot more of it right now. And you're just kind of seeing that. You know, Marko's kind of trying to play his regular game. You know, you know, and I really can't blame him. Like, he's playing very traditional Red Alert 2 in the Blitz format. You gotta look a little bit differently, I think. Yeah, Berg, that's absolutely right. Marko won game 1, just early rhinos. Super early rhinos. Monster comes in with $5. Berg comes in with $5. Hyping it up, money for the stream. To be fair, all of that $10 is money that I all won betting on Andy versus Marko and versus Ed, actually. New follower, Mr. Biffy. Yeah, Marko doesn't know what he's doing, and that's really what it comes down to. But, you know, I'm trying to get the top players more interested in Blitz, and just saying, hey, Marko, I was wondering if next Tuesday you wanted to spend a few hours practicing the Blitz format. That's not really going to work. So what I do is I offer them money, I make matchups, I hope that they play those matchups, I hope that they practice for them, and then I hope if they lose, they find themselves thinking, hey, I might want to play this a game and I want to do better next time. Maybe I'll practice a little bit. So slowly but surely, we're going to get the best players in the world more hyped on Blitz. We had Kyo, one of the top players in China. He played last night. He played some Blitz. He did pretty good. Anyway, that's what it's all about. Just trying to get more of the top players interested. Slowly put Blitz on the map. And it's all really selfish, to be honest. I just love watching. I love watching Blitz games. I really, really enjoy it. So, got to get the top players playing it. Can't sit around and watch Zed and Snark play all day. Especially Zed. He lies to me. Just kidding, Zed. Mr. Mad Tanks. Thanks for the follow, buddy. Alright, so Marko pushing in, takes the Alamo. Andy out with some early GIs again. And Marko now, instead of walking away, he's walking towards Andy, which I think is very dangerous. Andy already out with a super early Prism tank, which is tricky. Mr. Biffy hates getting called off. You hate getting called out for following? I specifically have a DJ horn to hype you up so that you're happy about following. If you hate getting called out for following, you probably hate when I call you out for calling you out about following. But I'm sorry, man. Please don't unfollow me. Alright, Marko diving for the MCV. This would be a big hit for Marko. Gets the MCV, pulls out, and Marko finally grabs something. And Andy quits out right away. Marko picks up a win. And finally, I mean, to be fair, I was saying, we got a back door. Look for the back door. Of course, I didn't invent the back door. It's pretty rudimentary. Marko pulls it out, brings us to 3-2. Andy up. CS Pro says he likes the format. Glad you like it, man. First time chatter. Thanks for hanging out in the stream. Glad you like the format. Monster vs. Zed. Let's get it going after this. Monster vs. Zed. Yeah, Monster vs. Zed. We'll get you guys in. We can do a $5 BO7. We can do Kong or Alamo. Whatever map you guys want to do. Last time Steve played Blitz, he said, yeah, I'll play in the tournament. And then he didn't practice at all, Steven. I'm pointing at you, judging you. Messing up my tournament. Although, to be fair, like 5 out of 6 people who play my tournaments don't practice or quit or go missing, so I don't really blame you. Alright, Zed vs. Monster after this, BO7. I got $5 on it. Maybe we hype it up. Maybe someone else throws $5 in. You never know. You never know. Monster, that was the first Blitz tournament of all time. It was the first map. It was everyone's first games of Blitz. Alright, let's get back to it. So, both players, Marko always out with the early conscripts. I kind of like that move because it keeps Andy from thinking he's going to be able to sneak in some GIs, any funny business. Marko now takes the Alamo. Marko, okay, pushes in, but right into a pillbox, and that's good. Bait the pillboxes. Bait the pillboxes, make him spend money. Gonna try to push in here? I don't know. I don't think... Why? That wasn't enough. You didn't have enough. Don't do that. Don't push in if you don't have enough. Right? I mean, am I crazy? Navy SEAL coming now from Andy, top right. New subscriber, Ween, brings the sub. Ooh, takes the barracks with it, but only loses 1 oil derrick. Not so bad. Not so bad. So Marko, so right now you look at the battlefield, what do we got? What do you see? You see Marko, who has enough to make something happen, maybe. But it's gonna tilt out of his favor very quickly. Now the good news is Andy's broke. Andy pushed tech a little too early, and Andy is broke right now. But when Andy gets his money right, he's got his battle lab out. We already have Mirages on the field. He's got that elite GI who's about to go off, create a highlight reel. And he's going to stay super busy with those Eagles. So, Marko's got to look to make something happen, and I think the clock's ticking for Marko. I'd like to see him push in and get some damage done before Andy gets things flush. Marko on a lot of money, though, right now. A lot of money. Yeah, Grand Juice. There's going to be a new map for the December tournament. Andy gets in, snipes that power plant, and these Eagles are so annoying on this map. They just constantly are sniping buildings when you have a good player who's microing them. Really, really difficult to manage. You can't flat cannon your whole base. You just can't do it. Yeah, so new map for December. We actually have the new map. We were just practicing it earlier. It's called Mount Brute. It's a lot of fun. There's a crate that gives a genetic mutator super weapon. CS Pro $10 donation. Wow. Let's go. And again, another building lost for Marko. And Marko's sense of time kind of confuses me. Like right now, he's on the service depot. He's smoking cigarettes. His desos are on a bathroom break. It's like, dude, the enemy's on the doorstep. You're outgunned. You're outmanned. Like, we got to get rolling, man. Like, sense of urgency, rate of play, Marko. Let's go. I don't want to go at Marko like that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for talking to Marko like that. You know, Marko's a top player. Best player, one of the best players in the world. But, at the same time, rate of play. Rate of play. Andy now with some Rockies, perfectly countered by a flat cannon. I like that. And here comes the Prism Tower walk, backed by Prism tanks. We see a split now. Marko on the top side with Rhinos. Gonna try to get something done. Gonna get, does get that. But now Andy pushing and countering with those Mirages, which are gonna be tough. Has a Deso in that group, but Andy snipes the Deso. Marko loses his top side split. Now left, but gets an oil derrick for his efforts. Now Andy pushing in with those Mirages, going to chase those Rhinos home. And the Prism tanks now just going to do absolute work. The range on those things is absolutely massive. And he's going to start getting some bad chain reactions from these oil derricks. Both those oil derricks are going to go. Maybe the War Factory. Yup. 8 Eagles coming. There goes the MCV. Marko makes a dive for the back of Andy's base. Good move. I think a little too late. Deso's behind. Does take down the 1 AFC. Ooh, Deso's his own tanks pretty badly, but does force the Mirages to stay out. Hits the other AFC, picks up an elite. What can Marko do? Now is the time. This is what champions are made of. But Andy left with an MCV. Gonna be tough. Now Marko forced to push into the Prism wall. Those Prisms are really nasty business. Nice hit, slowing down the Air Force. Marko on tons of money right now, and Andy is broke. So if Marko can just keep pushing, but I don't know what he does about these Prism tanks. Andy does not have a battle lab right now, so there's no more Prism tanks coming. So Andy has to be a little careful with them, but he's got 2 Prism tanks and a handful of Mirages. Marko takes another hit on the economy, takes another oil derrick. Andy now on 5 oil derricks, does not have enough money to push the battle lab or to push Eagles. So Andy is running half speed right now. He's not as comfortable with this as he wants to be. Marko decides to take his chances. He pushes in, targets the Prism tanks. Now Andy has no Prism tanks left. All right, so Marko just needs to keep picking and choosing his hits. He's got 17 grand. What does Marko do here? Is Marko... Oh, Marko doesn't have an MCV. Oh, no. Okay. Tesla Troopers. Do we get some Tesla Troopers? Oh, he's building some conscripts. I like that. Little fodder for the Prism tanks. All right, a little split here now from Marko. I don't think he can attack from the bottom side. Those Prism tanks are just too strong. Now, if he can dive on the top side and hit that oil derrick right above the MCV, he could dive on that oil derrick and take the MCV with him. That would be absolutely massive. He has to get Andy's MCV. Don't go in the Prism Tower triangle of death. No. Okay, he survives. It wasn't so bad. So many Prism Towers. Oh, God. And the conscripts aren't helping. And now Andy does get the Prism Towers, but Andy now with Grizzlies. Marko coming out on top of this. All right, Marko has got a chance. He's got to hit the power. Can he target those other power plants and try to get him to go low power? Andy has a battle lab out. He's got a lot of power needs right now. And Andy has way too many snipers. Gonna get a nice chain reaction here. Stays out of range. Big hit for Marko. Big hit. Wow. Great. Great stuff. Marko coming to play right now. And this is what it's all about, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not cheering against Andy. I'm not cheering for Marko. I'm cheering for a close match. And finally, Marko has woken up, joined the party, and is making some Blitz power moves. And I love it. I love it. All right, and Marko keeping that steady stream of conscripts. Those are a great counter for the Prism tanks. But at the same time, he's got to keep, obviously, the Rhinos coming. He's on 2 War Factories. He's got 22k. With no MCV, though, it's just so sad he can't do anything else with it. All right, so spam the conscripts, spam the Rhinos. Don't let Andy posture up. The problem is Andy still has everything at his disposal. He's got the Battle Lab. He's got the Oil Dyricks. This game is not one for Marko. And the longer it goes, the worse it is for Marko. Andy can rebuild. Luckily, Andy has had financial problems this whole game. Marko's had some nice hits. The conscripts are useless. Andy's got like 30 snipers, so the conscripts are useless. I would love to see I'd love to see Marko sneak in all the way to the edge right here, dive on that Oil Dyrrick, take a couple power plants with him. Could be really big. Target the power. Maybe not. Target the oil. Target the oil. Target the power. I don't know what to target. Target something. Oh my God, Marko pushing in. Prism Tower's doing work right now. Okay, put some low power. The Prism Towers are low power. Andy forced to sell a Prism Tower. Andy's got a couple BFs, but nothing else to defend himself. There are so many elite conscripts in this group going off right now. Big chain reaction from this Oil Dyrrick. Takes the MCV. Oh my goodness gracious, ladies and gentlemen.
Player defeated.
Now that's a game of Blitz right there. That is a game of Blitz. Wow. Three. Dr. Cortex, first time chatter. Welcome to the stream, man. Sorry guys, I can't really keep up with the chat right now. A little too much going on. So if you say anything really important, or you have any specific questions, message me, I guess, or something. Yeah, Gorilla, that's right. Marko didn't really take my advice, but it did work. You know, the big thing is, yeah, I think you're thinking of the one where my head's over the top of Wolverine. Yeah, the big thing, so my big thing is Rhinos are way stronger than I think. Like, I always think don't push with the Rhinos. It's too risky. Rhinos can push, and Marko's the kind of player who it's so calculated. So he thinks, like, I think, hey, you're going to lose 70% of your Rhinos. But to Marko, it's like, yeah, but with those last 4 Rhinos, I can still do work. And so, and that's why he's a top-level player, not a random commentator who pays the top players money to entertain him. But that's where we are. So Marko making things happen, coming to play. We got a 3-3 match right now. Marko again with the early conscripts to keep Andy from any early funny business with GIs. Marko going to take control of that Alamo again. CS Pro, thanks again for that tip, man. And Ween, thanks again for the sub. Appreciate you guys. The money keeps the lights on around here. We burn the money, we turn the pipes, turn the gears, keep things rolling. I don't know what I'm talking about. Pipe. I just blow the horn when I don't know what I'm talking about. All right, so Marko now with a double stretch. He's kind of going left and kind of going right. It's an interesting move. Like, he's losing the prism walks, but at the same time, and now a very different look from Andy. Andy now going for a full turtle. You see 5 pillboxes out from Andy, spamming Oil Dyrricks in his base. And Marko says, turtle shell, let's go at it head on. Prism tower out now from Andy. Marko forced to pull back. I think this is smart for Andy, though, playing a little bit more conservative, because the map is so small that whenever you're ready to start base walking, you can do it. But by being a little more conservative with the prevent the early Rhinos from getting too much damage done. Pushes in those conscripts perfectly as fodder against the Prism Towers. Coming in behind, he's got a sentry gun. Nice sentry gun from Marko, but he's going to lose that battle. We have seen, I believe it was Zane in these battles. Zane was actually building Tesla coils and juicing them up with Tesla troopers and doing work, but it's not really viable. I think ultimately the best strategy is to try to just out fodder and just push in. So gonna target the Prism Towers here. And this is smart, you know, against a weaker player, it's often the best move to target power plants when they have a heavy Prism base. But with Andy, like, Andy keeps his power so high for that reason, it won't work. You would have to hit 2 or 3 of them. But Marko now officially in Andy's base on the doorstep. The conscripts are literally kicking the door of the barracks open and shooting a power plant on their way out. But Andy really hanging in. Andy super early tech. We do see Mirage tanks on the field now for Andy. Prism tank. Oh, and now a Prism tank out. And Andy's ability to still get his tech up and establish himself with this pressure was really telling, and a really, really beautiful play for him. These Prism tanks are going to be absolutely devastating. Marko looking for a back door now, leaving his base to its own devices. Andy brings the Mirages down the middle to counter the Rhinos, keeps the Prism tanks on the hunt top side. Marko has to target the pillbox. Prism tower up now, Mirages to counter. And Marko doesn't have enough to get anything done here. Alright, so how's the dust settled? Again, Andy scraping the bottom of the barrel. But if you guys watch Andy's money, he's low, but he's not actually going zero. And really, as long as you don't go zero, it doesn't matter. Tanya on the field. Tanya hits a sentry gun. And that Tanya is about to go off. Tanya highlight reel. Top right. Ooh. Oh, paradrop top left. Marko. Marko's in a bad spot. Marko's really got nothing left right now. Except a lot of money. And I'm not sure. I don't think Marko has much of a move. Yeah, I mean, the problem is that for Marko, like, he needs to be able to attack and well, I don't know. I mean, we've seen him smash his head into the wall with Rhinos until it works, so it's certainly possible. But this isn't like last time. Those aren't Andy's only 2 Prism tanks. There's going to be an endless stream of Prism tanks coming. Chrono out now for Andy. Andy's got some BFs coming. Marko just not building enough. Marko on 18k. We haven't seen a building out. Well, now a barracks out on the front lines, but when you're on 18k, all 4 of your tabs need to be building stuff endlessly. And we're just not really seeing that. Like, we could see some Tesla coils. Now, sentry guns are probably the move, actually, but Deso's his own tanks, but maybe takes a few Mirages with him. Yeah, the IC, certainly. I mean, nuke, yeah, the nuke's obviously pretty OP. Yeah, V3s, I like that, Shmo. I think V3s could be the move. Yeah, well, I think Soviet, you know, you're trying to look to make something happen early game, and then as soon as you see that you're moving into mid game, late game, I think you got to get your tech rolling and get an IC. But then again, I mean, Marko did win the last one without it, but I mean, a nuke right now, like Andy's base is such a clusterfuck. One nuke would just... Can you imagine one nuke right now in Andy's base? Especially with how much money Marko has. Yeah, some APOCs. Last time I recommended APOCs, Berg laughed at me, but I don't know about... I think they're cool. I agree with you. Berg laughed like a hyena, called me a noob. Told me to break my keyboard and go home. So many BFs for Andy now, and the chrono coming about 20 seconds. Kirov out from Marko now. Marko calls GG. Yeah, the demo trucks. If you guys missed the Gino Andy match yesterday, it's going to be on YouTube on YouTube tomorrow morning. Gino versus Andy was a really fun match. Gino was throwing all sorts of wacky shit at Andy. He was using like demo trucks, terrorists. It was a close match too. I'd recommend it. It'll be up tomorrow. So Andy goes up 4-3. So this is match point. If Andy can take it home, Marko needs a win here. Needs a win. Dum da da da. Marko versus Andy. The match of the century. 4-3. Marko's down. He has a pirate flag because I forgot what country he was from. This is his chance to prove to the people that he is a Blitz god. See if he can bring it. Similar build from Marko again. Nothing crazy. Andy's the kind of guy who likes to win with a little flair. If Andy knows he's up, if Andy's really confident, he'll try to win with flair. He'll try to do some wacky stuff. But if he's a little nervous about Marko, he'll try to just end the game as quick as possible. Or, I mean, you know, not necessarily quick as possible, but he'll use a tried and true strategy. And again, we see a very conservative build from Andy. Proactive pillbox. Well, he is walking out a little bit, though, with his base, actually. AFC coming for Andy in just a second, I think. He'll get those prism towers rolling. Oh, Dr. Cortex, you missed the hype dance. It was a good one today, too. Balth triggered it. It was an epic hype dance. Frank, you in here, man? Come on, Frank. You can come commentate, buddy. Frank, buddy. He had GG. He had 11 prism towers. Yeah. But yeah, once you have that many prism towers, and I think it's a good play by Andy, knowing that Marko's not going to tech up. As the kind of player, if the other guy's strategy is to do a ton of rhinos, I think your strategy should be to do a lot of prism towers. But then, you know, the other player can bring some counter punches from that. Or the other player can be like Marko and just through sheer grit and power of will force himself in. Navy SEAL on the left side hits the War Factory. Andy gonna try to save that IFV. Brings the IFV back for another round of seals. Yeah, Frank, if you're bored, feel free to hop in. We got Monster and Zed are gonna play around after this. Another seal coming. Cleans out some conscripts. I like this double fronted attack from Marko. Makes Andy split his resources. Doesn't allow him just to build a bunch of prism towers on one side. I think that's good. Because turtling is resource intensive. God, the Navy SEALs, they never stop. Oh, and he is able to thwart that one. Marko pushing in now. What does he do? Oh, Andy's got some Mirage tanks on the back end. Drives past the prism towers. I think that's a good move. And now Marko, keys to the kingdom in the back. Hits the battle lab. Nice target. Does he dive on the MCV? Does he have enough to get it? No, back in range of the prism towers. Tries to find some safety in the corner. Gonna lose a lot of rhinos. Should probably run at this point. Does have low power. Andy's low power. Andy's low power. Oh, and Marko, and just in time. Yeah, Andy, as soon as he goes low power, he sells a tower or gets a power plant up. So if it does go down, you only have the smallest window to try to do something. Pretty good hit from Marko there, hitting that battle lab. He needed just a little bit more. Would have made a big difference there. And now Andy out with some tank destroyers to counter these, to counter the rhinos. He doesn't have his battle lab out, so I think that's a good hit. Okay, Marko gonna hit this oil derrick. What kind of chain reaction could he get? Oh, doesn't get the other one. So now Andy out with another battle lab, so we're going to see more Mirages, more Prism tanks coming. Marko has a very small window here, and Andy's looking a little weak right now. I think Marko's going to try to take a bite. Let's see what he can get out with it. All right, hits the Prism tank. That is Andy's only AFC. You know, could hit that AFC right now. I think he could probably get it, but Marko really trying to pick and choose wisely. He doesn't have a ton of tanks. Andy broke now. You look at Andy's money. He is bottoming out. Andy now loading up some BFs. If he hits that AFC, Andy loses his ability to build prism towers for the time. So that would be nice. It was low health for a while. Marko looking strong right now. Marko going down swinging. I like it. And so now Marko does have a crazy Ivan out. I don't know what he has planned with that. Andy pushing in with the GIs. forces him to sell that radar. That was Marko's only radar, so no Deso for the time being. Marko needs to get another radar out, get a Deso out. Okay, so now Marko with an Iron Curtain. All right, now we're cooking with gas. And as Andy settles into his turtle shell, now on 7 Prism Towers, Andy's got an Iron Curtain coming. And when when Marko gets the Iron Curtain, Marko can go straight into his base, and he just needs to decide what the targets are. He could really get a lot done. Should be able to dive and hit the MCV, which is really going to slow Andy down. But now Andy maybe feels that pressure, now pushing in with the BFs, and Andy out now with the Chronosphere. No Eagles from Andy, which is interesting. Andy's gotten a lot of mileage. Oh, here comes the Navy SEAL. Gonna try to hit the Iron Curtain. It's Tanya. Whoa, that was close. Wow. Wow. Great counter from Marko. Marko out of position with those tanks, losing a lot of tanks to infantry. You don't want to lose tanks to infantry. There's a crazy Ivan in the middle of the field, middle left. I don't know what he's doing. Andy now pushing in with a sniper and a tank destroyer, maybe for comic relief. I don't know for sure. Marko with a lot of rhinos, and the Iron Curtain is ticking. Andy paradrop topside. And Marko and Andy coming with another Tanya. He needs to get that Iron Curtain. Oh my gosh, look at this dance on the left side. Look at this. Look how many sentry guns he has. Oh, it's a Tanya though. It's a Tanya. Oh, the Tanya gets back in the... Oh no. God. Oh my god. Okay, Marko smashes the Iron Curtain. Maybe a little too early? No, gets in the middle of his base, diving for the MCV, right? Is he going for the MCV? What's he doing? The Battle Lab? I don't think so. I don't think that's the move. Hit the MCV, for the love of God, no! Ah! Damn it. What do we know? Players that know things more than me, what do we know? Should he have hit the MCV? Wow, okay. Now Andy pushing in with some Mirage tanks. Marko leaving MC left. And now a Boris on the field for Marko. That's actually a good counter to these Prism Towers. I really like that. Oh, but now there's a sniper out. Doesn't want to lose his... Oh, and the sniper's able to outrange the Boris. Oh... And so Andy Chronos gets some Grizzlies on the back end. Marko gonna lose his MCV. Marko with no anti-air defense. Oh no, he's got some flak tracks. Uses the force shield. Marko got 4 engineers out of his MCV right there. That's really weird. Man, and I don't know. Marko really lost the momentum there. I think he needed just a little bit more with that Iron Curtain, and he didn't get it. And we got about 2 minutes left. Yeah, I think they should be. Yeah, I think they should be. They should be longer series. Marko didn't want to do a longer one, but they should be, especially for players like Marko here, because Marko spent the first 3 games warming up. But there'll be more series. That's just how it goes. But yeah, I think Blitz plays a little bit better with a longer series. And Andy with a lot of Rockies. Just a lot going on across the board right now. I don't know. For Marko, I think Marko just tries to run out the clock, hope he wins on points. I don't think he will. Andy's up on kills. And I think Andy's got more base destruction points. Oh, right. Yeah, if he would have hit the if he would have hit the MCV, Andy would have just shielded it, yeah. Prism tower, Prism tanks in the back of the base.
Player defeated.
Marko quits out. Man, what a banger though. That was good. That was fun. And it was fun to see Marko. It was fun to see It was fun to see Marko kind of come into form there a little bit towards the end. Obviously, less familiar with the format the first couple games, kind of figuring things out, but he adjusted really quickly. Obviously, hats off to him, one of the best in the game, and put on a real show there. I think I'm excited. We'll get these guys in. We'll get these guys in for another match soon. Maybe we'll get them on the Kong map or something. Andy says a little too easy, playing into his villainous form a little bit. He does it for the people. You got to appreciate Andy. He does the drama for you guys. It's because he cares about you, because he loves you all.